Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, or back to my channel. We're back in the filming location that I'm usually in because I kind of hated the last one. So we're just going to stick with like me sitting on my bed in front of the window. Today's video is really cool. I mentioned in this video, and I think I've mentioned before, that before we left for Europe, I got a new phone, and I had been vlogging on my old phone the whole process of like applying for study abroad, planning out our route, getting vaccinated, getting the paperwork in order, the car insurance, the travel insurance, everything. And I was vlogging that whole process, and then when I got my new phone, I forgot about all that footage. So I found it and I compiled it into probably a series of videos because it's quite long. It starts back in like April or May and goes all the way up until like the night before we leave. So the videos are kind of all over the place, which is why I'm going to be narrating a little bit. I'm going to show you those clips. It's really cool to see and to look back on for me, and I'm sure for my family watching this, they will think the same. What I'm really hoping you take away from this video is that the plan does and will change when you're traveling or when you're really doing anything. And we were still able to have an insane trip. You'll see from all of the vlog footage, but it is nothing like what I started out in January of 2021 thinking we were going to go on. The plan changed multiple times. It's completely different. And a big aspect of traveling is being able to kind of roll with the punches and go with the flow. And that's honestly just a great attitude to have in life in general, is that you can't control everything. You need to come to terms with the things that you can't control and be ready for anything. So without talking too long, because I know I always talk too long, I'm going to play the video and jump in when I need to jump in. So I hope you like it. Okay, so I'm going to skip the whole study abroad process part because I posted that in a previous video, which I will link in one of these corners here. But the date is now May 7th, you'll see on the screen. And I am thinking that I'm going to study abroad at Oxford Brookes for 4 months, and then I'm going to study at the University of Western Australia in Australia for the last 4 months, so January to May. And at this point in time, I'm also thinking that my mom is going to fly over with me at the start of September, and we are going to go on a road trip. So that is what I'm planning in these clips, and I'll voice over. Back in the early stages of planning, I found this really cool website called Road Trippers, and you'll obviously use it to map out a road trip. This was back when I thought I'd be going on this great Western road trip with my mom. That didn't end up happening, but you basically use it to chart the different points of a road trip you want to take, and it shows you your route there. So this was my Western Europe trip. We're going to start from London, go through Belgium, Germany, the Netherlands, all that sort of thing. Didn't end up happening. It was still fun to look at, so there's all the stops we were going to take. So this is my Notion on like its entirety, and over here in university category I have this little study abroad icon. So when you click on it, it opens this page. This little drop down was to do for application and to do after acceptance, and then vaccinations that I need. This was for both universities. I'm going on a split exchange, so my first semester is going to be at Oxford Brookes in the UK, and my second is going to be at Western Sydney in Australia. So as you can see there, the plan off the bat was a great one, and it did not even come a little bit true. None of the facts I just said ended up happening, and we still had a great trip. So that's really what I want to show you, is that we put so much planning and so much effort into this, and you do need to do all of that planning, but we had a great trip. And especially with COVID, we just went into it knowing that we were going to have to really compromise and be good at adjusting our plan, especially on the spot. So for example, to do for application, we created the application, wrote the letter of intent, touched base with my reference, who was a professor that I had. I added my passport scan, which I needed. I researched into the courses that I wanted to take there so that I could give them a kind of baseline modules that I was looking into. Went to drop-in advising with my advisor, reminded my reference to submit the reference, and then I submitted my application. So that went pretty smoothly. And then after acceptance, I contacted my advisor early on to discuss the logistics given my combined degree. I submitted my nomination agreement, which was super important to get done, and my RAISA registration, which I started, but you can't finish until you're over there with your where you're going to be residing. You need to put in your new address. So then this is what I have left to do is, I did this. I can check these bad boys off. And I've also done this, and I've also done my pre-departure orientation. So all that's left for me to do here is make this $150 payment. You have to make them in person though, so that's been put off because of COVID. I doubt I'll be making it until I come back, honestly. I'm pretty sure it's going to be waived. This isn't as important of an update, but I just wanted to mention how much more nervous and like shy in front of the camera I sound in these ones. Not that like I'm a huge YouTuber or like whatever, but like I'm just so much more comfortable talking to the camera now. So it's really interesting to see myself almost exactly a year ago. This actually next clip is a year ago today when I'm filming this. So it's interesting seeing like what I was like a year ago and how different this whole process has made me. Okay, I feel like I'm always forgetting to update you guys, but there's been a lot that has happened today. A lot of like the paperworky stuff. These videos will get more interesting once I'm actually over there, but there's been a lot that's happened today. One of them that's super exciting is out of nowhere, my Amazon bikini came in. So very excited about that. It's super cute. Got it from Zaffle. This is what you should picture me in Europe. This is what I'm gonna look like when I'm in Italy, in Croatia maybe, or Greece. One thing I didn't really think of when I started planning my study abroad trip was banking in my phone. So I realized that I'm gonna have to get a new telephone plan, and I'm gonna have to find a new way to pay for things, because when you travel, credit cards tend to have a generic 2.5% transaction fee on anything that you buy on top of the conversion rate, which they already kind of bump up. So I think the conversion rate is like 1.7-ish from Canadian dollars to pounds. So they'll probably charge me like 1.72, which is fine, but then they'll also charge me 2.5% on top of that, which is definitely not something I wanted to pay since I'm going to be there for so long. So today I looked into credit cards. That was my task for today, and I will show you what I did. First thing I did was consider switching my bank account, because I've been unhappy with RBC for a little while now, and I'm thinking about switching to Tangerine. And then what I did was search up no foreign fee credit cards, because that's what you want to know. And I searched up Canada because a lot of places don't take American Express, so I knew I wanted it to be either a MasterCard or a Visa. And from there, I found a really great website that I'll show to you. Okay, so the website that I found to be most helpful was this. It's on RateHub, and it's called Canada's 13 Best No Foreign Transaction Fee Credit Cards for 2021. And they list a bunch down here. So I kind of just went through this list one by one and narrowed it down to a few that I will show you. So as you know, I love my Notion. That's my little tab here. And the first thing I did was narrow it down to 3 cards. So under this banking tab in my Study Abroad application, I made this little tab, and I narrowed it down to the Scotiabank Visa Passport Visa Infinite card, the Brim MasterCard or the World MasterCard, and the Home Trust Preferred Visa card. So I made these decisions based on some of the rewards that they listed here, and then I went to the specific card pages and checked out what the websites had to say for themselves. I was mostly drawn to this Brim MasterCard. The Scotiabank Passport Visa Infinite card was another good option, except for it had a yearly fee, and it also had some income requirements is the word that I'm looking for. And I'm just going to speak about it a little bit, and I will show you the perks on the screen right here. So I'm going to move over here so you can see that. And I'll move this cord. So it's a nice little viewing area for you here. So here are all the perks. They'll be on the screen right here. The thing that drew me most to the Brim MasterCard was that it didn't have an annual fee. It didn't have any foreign exchange fees. It also, though, had this thing called Go and Go Wi-Fi, which all of the cards that they had, the MasterCard, the World, and the World Elite, I think are the 3, all had this option, but the baseline one that I was going to get also had this option, which was super interesting. It's a partnership between Go and Go and MasterCard, so Brim, to my understanding, isn't involved in it. It's just they say that the service is going to be upheld for as long as MasterCard chooses to keep this going with Go and Go. So basically, it gives you free Wi-Fi on planes, airport lounges, airports, hotels. It'll be here, but that kind of thing. So that was really attractive to me because I'm going away, and because there's so much uncertainty with what my phone bill is going to be, that if I have access to free Wi-Fi, then it might not be necessary. Plus, having Wi-Fi on planes is just immaculate, and I do not like to pay for it. So that was the main thing that drew me to it. Okay, so today is a new day, and I am in one of 2 places that I tend to film. But I'm currently at work right now. It's 12:30 in the afternoon on the date is the 26th of May. And I have a meeting with my current bank at 3 o'clock. So we're going to discuss switching bank accounts, because I kind of want to switch to Tangerine. I think I mentioned that earlier. But I have applied for my 2 credit card, well, my 1 credit card, my 1 debit card. If you missed that information, I applied to the Brim, just Brim card. That video will be linked down below where I discussed it, or the timestamp. So I applied to the Brim card. I went through all of the options and I only qualified for Brim. I didn't qualify for the World or the World Plus. Actually, interesting fact about that, you get the lounge access, which was the biggest draw for me, but it comes at a cost still. You still have to pay $27 to go into the lounges. It's just that you now qualify without having to have a first class ticket, which is kind of weird. So anyways, that made it a lot less attractive to me. I just wanted it so that I would be able to go into the lounges when I'm waiting in the airports, but whatever, it is what it is. So I applied to the Brim MasterCard and I just sent them off the information they needed. They needed a copy of my current, my most recent credit card statement. So I sent that off to them, and I have a meeting with I will be getting my Stack debit MasterCard in the mail soon, and I'm going to download the app for that, so I'll show you the process to do that. And yeah, so that's all coming in. The Stack card is interesting. It's like a prepaid card, so I'll e-transfer money from my account to the card, and then I can use it like a MasterCard with no fees. So that's interesting. But at 3 o'clock, I have a meeting with my current bank, RBC, and I'm going to discuss what options they have, let them know that I have these in place, and then if they can't really give me anything beneficial, I might as well switch to Tangerine. The credit card I have right now, I'm paying $40 a year for, which isn't bad, but I want to see what other benefits, what other cards they can get me, especially if I have these Brim cards. And what card I have right now is a WestJet MasterCard, and I do get points from it, but it's not enough to really make it worth the $80 for $80 a year. I don't know, whatever amount of money it is. So I will let you know how that goes. I just had my meeting with the bank, and they basically just told me exactly what I already knew, which was that they're not going to be able to offer me the card that I want. So I can get this new Brim card and set it up as a payee in my account and then pay it that way, or I could switch to Tangerine and basically do that. But Tangerine's not going to offer me one anyways, because I don't think they can. I think that honestly, the way that the guy was explaining it was that the 2.5 fee is charged by the ATMs that they use, and like, you know, when you like go tap your card on the machine things, it's charged by those in the UK. So I think that there's nothing that the banks can do, honestly. I don't know how this Brim thing set it up, but I don't know. So I went into that call with the bank knowing that I was kind of leaning towards this Brim card, kind of like I alluded to in that clip, and I left that call feeling like garbage because the bank people always talk down to me, and I don't want to think it's because I'm a woman, but like, he genuinely asked me if I understand what exchange rates are, and I was like, yeah, like I know. I'm trying to get a credit card that doesn't have the transaction fee. So it was really frustrating. I was kind of getting a little overwhelmed at this point, but in addition to trying to figure out all of these logistics stuff, I was also having to do training for study abroad, because at this point I was under the impression that I would be going in person to Oxford Brookes. So UC was hosting a lot of training sessions for us to give us skills and prepare us for what happens when we get on the ground in those new universities. One of the things we had to do to get ready for study abroad was do the Zoom sessions hosted by U of C. Okay, so I was pre-approved for my credit cards now. I have the credit card limit of $5,000 based off of my previous credit cards and my credit score and stuff like that. So my Brim card is going to be coming in the mail, and my Stack card is on its way as well. But my Brim card is coming in the mail. That's my credit card. My Stack card, which is a Visa debit, I think is what it is on its way as well. But I have instructions now for how to access my virtual card, which I'm going to add to my phone, like Apple Pay wallet, and also to access Boeing Go Wi-Fi. So I'm going to show you that process now. Basically, I went to the site and it prompted me to put in my credit card number to verify my eligibility, and it specified that your card will not be charged. See there? So I put in my credit card number, just the number, not the CCV or the expiry date, and I do qualify. So now I'm going to finish the sign-in process. Okay, so I put in my information and this is what we get. So I guess that I'm going to download this app now so I always know where the Wi-Fi hotspots are, and we're all set for Wi-Fi while we're abroad. So this is my Stack card that just came in the mail. Super exciting. Hi, it's a different day now. It's actually like a month later, because as I was editing this video, I realized that it is going to be like 45 minutes long. So I'm going to do it in 3 parts. This part you just watched, and then in the second part, there's going to be a huge surprise change, but it's not that big of a surprise because we all know that I didn't end up going to Oxford Brookes. So we're going to see that. We're going to see us getting vaccinated, and then organizing some entry forms and stuff like that. So that's gonna be in the second part, and then the third part is going to be booking everything in and then saying goodbye, last walks with the dogs, going out to dinner, that sort of thing. So that's going to be how the videos are broken up. I hope you've enjoyed it so far, and I hope you stick around for the next 2 parts because I find this process really interesting. It's interesting to reflect on, and I hope you really like it. So check out the next video when it goes live, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!